So, a fun little fact, I have never painted an orc for this channel, ever. Aside from the orc, but he doesn't count. So, why not change that now? While it's still considered an orc, it was a kit bash made from an orc Ardboy Big Boss, and spare parts made from the Flash Kits kit. So, you know what? Let's start with setup. To start the step, use Chaos Black Primer, a perfect base needed to begin with. And to show why I made a new setup step is because of Pink Horror. Being heavily dry brushed over all of the armor areas, including the moon and the gun. Continue on with Emperor's Children, over all of the same areas, but lighter this time. Don't worry, it all makes sense later on. Then finish the new step with Reared Elixir. Dry brushing over all the sharpest areas, light would catch the most. On to the base step now. Here is all the paints needed for this step, so gather all of them up and, you know what, let's begin. The first base needed is Flesh. Use this paint over all of the visible skin on the orc. Do make sure to be really careful as to not get any of the paint on the armor, as we want to keep it this color. Basilisk Red is next. Going to be using that on the Squig, the loincloth, the scope, and the bad glyph on the boss pole. Next is Deathcore Drab. We will be needing this over all of the trousers. For all the rocks we will be needing some Ancient Stone. While during this part you can use this on the weapon staff if you want to make it birch. Now for all those bones, teeth and claws. Go over all of that with some Dragon Fang, and be careful while doing so. Leather time now. Using Leather Brown, go over every single bit of the straps, belts, and even the bandoiler. Onto the matte black now, cleaning up the word for Grim on the boss pole, as well as any piping, horns on the squig, and even the gun handles. Korvax White time. Use this paint over all of the teeth on the glyphs. That is all it's needed to be on. A few coats of Wraithbone over the squig's eye, and you can pretty much start painting the metallics now. Begin the metallics with gunmetal. Apply it over the blade, barrel, magazine, and chainmail, as well as the boss pole and even the squig bar. Since he is a boss, some shiny metal would make sense. Go over all of the spare trinkets with Dragon's Gold. Then you would be ready for shading. I did tell you I had a plan with all that pink, and now it's shown here. So, let us begin. Let's begin with the pink, going over all of that with Unending Yellow. Do be careful while applying this paint, just so that we don't go over any of the other paints. All that silver and birch is up for painting now, going over all with non-oil. You can be a bit messy with this one, but only a little. The orc flesh now. Carefully shade it all with a Thonian camera shade. You don't have to be neat with it, but at least keep it in the lines. Before an all-over shade, do an application of Berserker's Blood shade over all the red areas. Final shade is Agrak's Earth shade, going over the entire model. Make sure to get it over everything. On to the layering now. Here is everything needed. Only using one layer for most of everything this time around, as it is already long enough. So let's continue. Start with the orc flesh, going over everything skin shaped with goblinoid green. Wyvern Fury next, going over all of the red details, but also being used for the orc's eyes. Again, try to be careful when layering on the smaller parts. After that, it is as simple as applying gung-ho green over the trousers. For all the rocks and birch, use pale sand. While using this paint, apply a bit of it onto the squig's eye. Now for all of the leather and strings. Simply go over all of it with Commander Khaki. Skulls and bones are next, going over all of those spicy details with bony spikes. Again, do be careful, especially near the armor. Up next is Eshin Grey. Not only is this going all over the black details, but uses paint on the squig's eye as a freehand. Its pupil is seen in the original kit as a crosshair after all. Time to brine the teeth. Use Vallejo White as an edge layer over all of those points, including using as a light glimmer on the squig eye and lenses. Once it dries, apply some odd coat over the eyes and lenses. Almost done now, back to the metallics, starting with shining silver over all of the silver details. Finally, finish the entire layering step with greedy gold over all of the golden details. Once that is done, it's time to go onto the base step. The base is going to be a simple desert base, as I seem to like it on orcs. So this is everything you'll need to paint up, so once again, let's finish it. To start the base, use Armageddon dust over the entire base. It won't matter too much if you get onto some of the stones or the bones, because it's mostly on the ground anyway. Wash the entire dust with Seraphim Sepia, making sure that it's all hit with that shade. One more application of pale sand, this time as a dry brush over all the sand that isn't really considered under any shadows. Base rim of Doom Death Black to make the rest of the model shine in comparison, as always. Finally, add in Morden Corpse Grass onto the base and consider it done. And there you have it. What can be my first ever orc, done for my channel. Thank you for watching. I will put my resource in about the pink to yellow right here, so that credit is given to the right man for it. I will see you soon for another model, next month.